Welcome to our review of Ocean Riviera Paradise Hotel in Mexico, Cancun. We've been here for a week. I'm going to give you an honest review with some positives, but unfortunately some negatives as well, which I think you need to know. Let's go and check it out. Okay, so this is the lobby. Looks nice so far. Nice and spacious. Okay, that's where you check in on the left. On the right, there is a privilege section for guests that want to pay more for a privileged experience. At the bar, they do a good variety of drinks, like proper spirits. You get sparkling wine, you get quite a big range of cocktails as well. There's lots of different restaurants to eat from, which are all included in the inclusive package, but you do have to book on the app at 8:30 in the morning. And there's one you can't book for on the app, which is Sakura. We've not had a chance to try it because there's a massive queue you can only book by queuing, and there's a massive queue in the morning and it's just too hot to queue for a long time. We have tried Route 66, which is American. I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. The service was really slow. Josiah liked it because they have burgers and chips, obviously, but the rest of the food was a bit mediocre. This is the Italian. Again, you need to book on the app. We went here twice. I'll explain a bit why later, because you're only allowed to go in once in each one, but the food's really nice. They do pizza, pasta, obviously, because it's an Italian, and they do beef steak, which me and Jabzz both had, which was nice. So that is Blue Moon Romantic Dining. Jabzz, did we try that?
No.
We didn't try that because we've got the kids with us and we didn't want to leave the kids on their own. But if you're going as a couple and you want to try a little bit of romance whilst you're eating, that's the place, I believe. So behind me is the main buffet area. You don't have to book. That does obviously the breakfast, lunch and dinner. Breakfast is not too bad. There's always a queue for the omelettes. But the quality of the food is actually quite a good standard, I would say. So this is obviously for younger kids, like under 11s, because as you can see, it's got the slides, but they're not really, they're just like kiddie slides. So our kids being teenagers didn't really appeal to them. But it's good if you've got kids under 11. Doesn't look like they're open yet though. A lot of things don't open like for a while, including the bar. The bar doesn't even open till 10. Can't get your towels till 9. So as you can see, there's no one here now, and it's what, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So this is the adults only pool, which is exclusive to adults only. They seem to have, the bar's not open, but they've got some exercise classes going on. So we're coming up to the Steakhouse now. I'd definitely give that like a 8 out of 10. That was the best restaurant by far. It's unfortunate that you can only go in there once.
We managed twice though.
We managed twice because we've been switched rooms, so we'll explain why we've switched rooms in a minute. But yeah, really nice steak, good service, good food. This is Eden, where we're staying, well actually where we were moved to, because we had a problem with our room in Daisy. We also had problems with our room in Eden as well. But these rooms have got the option of the swim-up pool, but only on the ground floor. We're not in those. And they've got access to the pool, like the party pool, which is where all the music is and the games for the kids, but there's not a lot of games for the kids really. Okay, so this is the beach area. A little bit disappointing because it takes quite like 10-15 minutes to get here. Also, there's loads of seaweed, which they do warn you about, but you don't really want to swim in the sea because it's just cluttered with seaweed. Big pile of seaweed here. Yeah, so it's quite small. There's always people trying to sell you things, like every 5 minutes, massages, trips out. Even though you say no, you can't really relax because you've got people coming every 5 minutes trying to sell you things. They have got a restaurant and bar, and I was really excited. On one of the days I came, they had some like healthy smoothies, but every other day that smoothie bar was shut, so that was really disappointing. The food in the restaurant on the beach as well is really poor. It's not fresh. They give you starters that are just sat out there all day long. They had no French fries yesterday, and it takes about 45 minutes to get your food, so definitely wasn't impressed with this restaurant on the beach. It's a shame because we would opt to sit on the beach most days, but because there's so many negatives, we only came twice. So let's talk about the issues we've had on this trip. So bearing in mind it's labelled as a 5-star hotel, I know I've mentioned a couple of positives like the food, but there's so many problems with the hotel, starting with the rooms, and it was so disappointing for the money that we paid and also their attitudes when we raised these complaints. So the first room we were put in, my daughter had a shower on the first night, and the water, it's a walk-in shower, the water leaked all the way through into our room, and there's a huge puddle of water. So my son came in to have a look at it and slipped in this puddle of water and injured his wrist. So immediately we rang reception to let them know about the problem. An hour later, still no one had come to check my son's wrist or to check on the water. So thankfully, Jabzz is first aid trained, and he looked at Josiah's wrist, put ice on it, bandaged it up, identified that it wasn't broken, but that's not the issue. It's then ruined the whole holiday because he's not been able to take part in any sport because it's definitely sprained. So we were then told that we could move rooms, but not till the next day. So we still had to sleep in that room with the faulty shower. There was quite a few issues with this hotel, bearing in mind it's marketed as a 5-star. So we had a broken bed. We had a broken shower, which leaked all the way into our room. The attitude of the staff when we were asked to move rooms was awful. We were told to actually leave the hotel. We weren't moved rooms till the next day. The room that we were moved to was also equally as bad. It leaked from the air conditioning, so there was another leak. There's stains all over this sofa that I'm sitting on now. There's stains all over the mattress, and the water doesn't run properly from the tap. So we weren't even moved to a room that had any less problems. The fridge hasn't been refilled with fresh waters any of the days that we've been here. And all these kind of things you would expect to be a lot better from a 5-star hotel. But the main thing that upset us the most is when we raised these issues, particularly my son slipping and hurting his wrist in the puddle, we were met with a lot of animosity. They didn't make our room change smooth at all, and the man at the staff hotel actually told us to leave his hotel. He didn't apologise. It was really, really, really bad attitude, which we had to actually escalate to our rep. So that made the whole holiday, aside from the fact that our son couldn't take part in any of sport because he'd injured his wrist, the attitude of the staff at reception ruined our holiday. Would we come here again? Yes, we would come to Mexico. The weather's beautiful, the people are really nice, the food is great. Would we come to this hotel? No. Unless they drastically changed the rooms, upgraded the rooms, refurbished them, made things working again, we wouldn't revisit this hotel, unfortunately.